All right, SPS or Splinter Shards has released today. I'm on a screen that's showing the price movement over the last 5 hours. I'll go to a 5-minute candle. The goal today is, well, the goal right now is to just dump a bunch of information that may help someone out there to understand perhaps where the price may be moving. In particular, I have some interesting or maybe thoughtful insights about this PancakeSwap announcement, which is going to happen at 9 a.m. UTC, which means roughly 5 a.m. Eastern time. So roughly 12 hours from now is about when it's happening. So hopefully I get this out in time for some people to make their own assessments of the situation as I drop information from a bunch of different places. Let's take a look real fast at 1-minute candles from when it started. I guess if you're watching this, you may have, 1-minute candles, there's already too many of those being 5 hours. We'll go to 3-minute candles. It started at 2 cents, quickly went up to 65 cents, and then it's been trying to find its way down to 13 cents up to 20 cents, a little high up here, 22 cents. We are sitting at the time of starting this recording at 20 cents. And so let's keep that in mind. There's some other things on the screen that I wanted to point out. There is $1 million of liquidity in this pool. There is 2.7 million SPS. Of course, half of this pool is SPS and half of it is BNB. That is the liquidity pool, is BNB and SPS. Okay, this is all just kind of giving you a foundation because I want to go to the PancakeSwap announcement. But first, let's go over here and refresh the tribal decks, the diesel pools, which is a Hive engine pools, and the splinterlands and Hive engine people have put money there, have put SPS there, paired with a few different things. So it looks like there is 127,000 SPS paired with DEC, almost 1 million paired with B, and 440,000 paired with Hive. So we've got about 1.3, 1.5 million. Again, still those foundations of information that may be helpful as I go and talk about the PancakeSwap, which is the primary reason for doing this recording. But first, again, I want to look at the Splinterlands, the Splinter Shards token on BSC scan. These are the primary holders. Let's do a refresh. We don't necessarily know who owns all these tokens, but what we can figure out is 2.7 million with a contract is likely going to be, almost certainly going to be, the SPS to BNB PancakeSwap. That's of the tokens that are out there right now. There is a decent amount there. This one, 22,222,222, is just way too convenient to not be, and it is a contract to be this number right here, 22,222,223, which is the rewards that PancakeSwap is planning to give out to those that stake cake token in approximately 12 hours. Okay, so right now we have these are the ways to get SPS. I believe the partners of Splinterlands have already gotten a airdrop, or a portion of what they were promised. You also have PancakeSwap has gotten 22 million, but that is going to end up being 370,000 a day for 60 days. The airdrop starts tomorrow, and that's going to be one entire year. Every day is going to be about 1 million. On August 2nd, so not until August 2nd, which is still a decent amount away, will staking rewards and playing rewards start. So that money is not coming into play quite yet. So we've got airdrop that will start And then splinterlands is going to different places and hooking a few places up. Gate.io, for example, let's move this over here. So we got Gate.io. I don't know where their specific announcement is, but I can tell you looks like Splinterlands has given them 2 million that they will impart to new users that come in and stake USDT. So let's go back to the BSC scan. That's probably this right here. So this is Gate.io. This is PancakeSwap. This is the PancakeSwap pool. So there you go. And these, we don't know. They're probably Splinterlands. They're probably holding out for other people. And these large amounts, they're all kind of similar. My guess is that these are a bunch of partners that are all getting roughly the same. 555, and then a bunch of partners that are getting 277. I believe, I can't remember if there's how many partners, 15, maybe 20. So that's the big numbers. And then you've got some people that purchased today and that have 160 or more, 160,000 or more. Here's another contract. Not exactly sure what that is. We got to remember that one of these high numbers is likely going to be a Hive engine. It could be this 2.1. It could be probably not these ones, but probably the 2.1. I mean, there's a possibility it could be the 16. We don't know exactly what they have right now. With a little bit of research, more than I've done, you can look through it. So if we assume that this is Splinterlands, and that most of the money that is on the Binance chain is in this right here. The rest of that is going to be airdropped, perhaps, partners, and we don't know if the partners are selling, if all these numbers are all the same. Doesn't look like they are. Maybe this person sold 20,000. You could look, obviously, at some of these accounts to see what the transactions that have been happening. So you can obviously look at these addresses and see where they've been moving this around to. So hard to read sometimes these transaction things, but this may be well, you know what? We're not exactly sure. But what we do know is that the total liquidity is 1 million here, and that is 2.7 million. So either a lot of people do not want to pool their tokens, maybe because of impermanent loss. Maybe the partners have a deal in place where they are requested to not sell right away, or maybe those partners are saying, no way, we're holding long term. So for all intents purposes, that money is basically illiquid. So not liquid, not moving. It's going to stay the same. This money that is in the Binance pool, the Pancake pool, I should say, seems to be very liquid, going up and down, as you can see, down to 13. I missed this moment. I should have done that. That was only, let's see, a couple hours ago or an hour or so ago, and I missed that opportunity to jump in. Over here and this is all in preparation for what I'm going to share with you about PancakeSwap. So we've got 0.58 for Hive. Tribal Dex doesn't really help much with giving you a USD amount. So you basically have to go to a PK, go to the wallet, check out, it's 331, okay? So then you go to a calculator and we say 0.331, and then we multiply it by 583, okay? So times 0.583, And it looks like it's at 19.2, which is interesting because this is at 19.6 right now. So pretty even numbers. You can also do the same thing, look up the price for B, multiply it by this, and the same thing with DEC. So there you go. The ones with more liquidity, like B, will have less price movement when you buy stuff from it. So this one's going to have twice as good of ability to withstand volume. So if you have a lot of B, you can jump in and sell your B for SPS and that sort of thing. Okay, so now let's get to the announcement. They sent out a message to 1 million followers about Splinterlands and about their staking to earn SPS and staking SPS BNB liquidity pair to earn cake. So two different things. Let's go into their exact announcement and talk about this a little bit more. So as I said, they're giving away 370,000 SPS a day for 60 days to those that stake cake. I'm not exactly 100% sure to make of this. I have a much better grasp of this farm, where if you have SPS and BNB in a liquidity pair together, and then you come to PancakeSwap and come to farms, and then you stake those liquidity tokens, that you will earn cake. And there are a lot of people that always like cake. We're going to give this a moment to load because what I want to do is sort by the multiplier. Let's go back a step and check that the multiplier is going to be 1x for just 2 days and then 0.5x. So that means for the first 2 days, there's going to be some crazy high APR. And then after that, 0.5x, which the APR is not going to be too bad if we take a look at what's going on here. Now, what we want to do is sort this by the multiplier. And we're going to go down to the 0.5x multipliers. And I want you to look at this number of APR and the liquidity. So starts with 0.5 here, and we have 230% APR. So there's a lot of interest in going there. 1.6 million in liquidity. And that you'll see is probably the lowest. So it's going to be the highest APR, but the lowest liquidity, 2.8, 1.8, 1.8. I went through it once before, and there's a lot at 2 to 2.5, but then a lot at around 1.8. So in my opinion, 1.8 seems like the sure bet. We're going through dozens and dozens of them. Some are 6 million liquidity, 7, 16, 5, 38. And of course, those ones have much lower APRs, which is still 15% is pretty good for these stable coins. But keep going through them. 8%, but that's 52 million. So we don't see anything really below 1.8 at this 0.5x multiplier. We have one lowly one, which maybe just started, maybe isn't a good project. Not sure why it is a decent amount lower than the rest of them. Where is it? 1.6 compared to everything else is at least 1.8, and a lot of them well above 2. So what I wanted to show with that is we have some way to go. 1 million total liquidity in the whole entire pool. Keep in mind that this means that it is staked. This isn't the amount of liquidity in the pool. If we go to this one that is GUM, who knows what that is? GUM is a 1.8. If we click here, hopefully it gives us some more C pair info. So we're going to go to the pairs info, and hopefully we get how much is actually in the pool. PancakeSwap can be a little bit slow, apparently. 2.1. So most, if I'm reading this correctly, most of it is in the pool. But if you know much about splinterlands, and you know that all of these, if we go back to here, a lot of these are partnerships. A lot of this is splinterlands. So we're looking at the pool itself is 2.7 million in the pool. And then we're going to have more coming in at 370,000 a day. And then maybe, so you would have to take, if we take 2.7 million in the pool, and then we assume all the airdrop and all the 370,000 coming from that everything is going to not just go into the pool, but is going to go into the PancakeSwap farm. If we assume all of that, let's do some calculations. So 2.7, all right, plus tomorrow 370, plus the 1 million getting airdropped. If we assumed all of that, we're looking at 4 million, let's just say 4 million SPS is going to go into a pool that is going to necessitate almost for certain, looking at dozens and dozens and dozens of examples at 0.5x multiplier, they all hit 1.5 million liquidity, 1.8 million liquidity, and one of them is just barely below. But so many, dozens and dozens of them are at least that amount and more. And we have a great project with a lot of users and a lot of interest, and a high staking value coming up. So people may not want to go into a pool, because if you go into a pool, this is another thing. If you go into the pool and the price rises, which I'm going to show probably will happen, then you have impermanent loss. So how many people actually are going to sell their tokens or put their tokens into the pool because they believe it's going to go up? There's a lot of people that bought recently that believe it's going to go up. So if it goes up and they are in the pool, SPS and BNB, that means they will end up with less SPS because they're in the pool. I know that's hard, but it's also a hedge, of course, and helps maybe fight the possibility that it could go down, because Splinterlands is printing in SPS as it starts off. It starts off slow and rolls and gets to be more and more, but it's, there's probably millions of SPS coming in each day. Not saying that it will all go into this PancakeSwap farm. Any case, let's go back to the calculator. At 4 million, that's only one half of it. Now let's take half of the $1.8 million of liquidity, which is 900,000, and divide it by 4 million. We're looking at 22.5 cents. So if everyone from the airdrop and that is already in the pool and that is getting money from the syrup pool tomorrow, if all of those people, all of them, go into the farm for PancakeSwap, the price almost necessitates that it goes up to $22.50, according to my math. But, and these are the caveats, we don't know what some of these numbers are. We assume some of these are splinterlands. We know what this one is. We know what this one is. And we know what this one is. Very likely going to be Gate.io. And they're giving away 2 million. So some of that could leave Gate.io and come into, sad for them, I'm assuming they're wanting lots of things to happen at Gate.io as well. And people may stay there. And there may be a lot of traction for pricing over there. And also keep in mind, there may be good, some of the money may come out of the Hive Engine pools and go into the PancakeSwap. We'll see who provides the most honey or I guess we would say syrup, to attract people. And we don't know what's happening with all of these. What most of these are probably partners. Some of these are people that bought stuff, and are some of them going to jump into a farm, into a liquidity pool, and then go into the farm? Probably not. We'll see though. So 22 is kind of this maybe safe ballpark bet. Now we're at around that amount. If it dips down again, now that I've run some of these numbers, I think I'm jumping in. But for how long? Because then we have more and more coming out every day. And for the end and the 60th day from now, that will be, 22 million more SPS will be in the pool because of their airdrop. And then in 60 days from now, 60 million will be given out from the asset holder airdrop. So you've got 80 million because of that. Then you have team members and partners and all that stuff. So I'm not saying that the price is going to stay at 22%, nor for how long do I think it will stay at that. But also think about it on the other hand. There's a lot of people that are likely to not sell or put their SPS in a pool, let alone a farm. And therefore, there may be a lot less SPS available to go into that pool. And these numbers, if you are interested in the project, getting 190%, getting 160%, 106%, if we're down at the, sorry, these are the numbers, but they're still close, 100, 190%. If we're looking at the one that was 1.6 million, that's 232%. That's pretty amazing numbers for most people. And if they're comfortable with the project, with the tokens, of course they're going to be fine in a pool, SPS and BNB. Maybe they don't want to be in with BNB because SPS would way outperform it. Just some thoughts, random thoughts. I mean, if you have some insights or thoughts, I'd love to hear them. There could be so many different caveats going on right now. It's a very complex release with a lot of things, a lot of inflation of the SPS, a lot being created each day as it slowly, well, I guess even quickly releases what it has. But then there are plenty of reasons to hold it. One, you think it's going to go up a bunch. Two, you're holding it and putting it in a liquidity pool. Three, you know that there's going to be a lot of staking rewards. So you want to hold the SPS to be able to stake it and get inflation APR that way. Or because in the future, the DAO will exist, which you'll have governance votes with your SPS, which maybe is a pretty big deal to some people out there. So it's just a lot going on. But I wanted to show off one of these things, that all of these 0.5x multiplier tokens or pairs that PancakeSwap is willing to give cake to these people, and the people that put liquidity there obviously like cake. So they're going in there and they're going to have to buy up probably $1.5 million worth of liquidity to stake, not just to put into a pool, but to come in here, to go to the farm and to hit enable and then hit, that sort of thing. Now, on the other hand, I don't exactly know what's going on with pools. I do know what they're saying here, that they are going to give out, well, so you're getting cake for doing for adding to a farm. Now, for a pool, it's when you get cake, okay? I don't know sorry if I didn't make that super clear beforehand, but let me make sure that's clear now. When you come into here, you stake cake and you earn SPS. In fact, tomorrow or 5 a.m. Eastern time, you'll type in SPS and something will show up here. And then you'll stake your cake, which is presently $14.48. And I've seen that it's been between $11 and $15 in the last 30 days. It's gone up, it's gone down, it goes up and down. But if you buy for the first 2 days, 100 cake per account, you can stake that and it will be distributed amongst the SPS will be distributed amongst a bunch of users. Okay. So that's one of the options. So 100 would mean, that's $1,400 at least. 100 cake. So go, maybe if this is something interesting to you, go buy yourself $144 of cake, or $1,448 of cake. Sorry. Put them in a wallet. You can do that with a couple of wallets, I suppose. If they're now, let's look at the amounts of cake that normally get stacked into here. Okay, so it is 200,000 cake, 100,000 cake, 300,000 cake. Some of them are a little bit lower, 69,000 cake, 130,000 cake. Now, if we take a random number, which I've got it down here, and let's say that we're saying because of what's happening over there, we're doing 2250. Okay, 2250 is what SPS maybe could be worth. We don't know for sure. 2250. And so we say that the syrup pool has 50,000 cake in it. 50,000 cake. How about 200,000 cake? 200,000 cake, and you get 100 of that. Let me do the math here for a second. We're going to do it a little bit easier. We're going to say that 1,000 users put in 1,000 wallets. It could be less users, but 1,000 wallets put in 100 cake. Okay, so that means that there's 100,000 cake in there. So there is going to be 370,370 cake being done every day, right? So what we want to see here is we took 100, your 100 cake that you put in, and divided it by the 100,000. That means you have 0.1% of the cake, which means if you take this number times this number, you're looking at 370 SPS a day. And then you would take this number times this number, and that would be $83 a day. And remember, we took cake is now at 14.8, I believe, is what we saw it at last. So the investment for 100 is 100 times this. So we're looking at 1,480. So if we took this number, 83, times 365, and then we divided it by the initial investment, and then we used a percentage, we're looking at a 2,000%. So that's kind of counteracting it, right? It means that it's an insane amount here, which maybe means that it goes up to, instead of 100,000, maybe it goes up to 500,000 right there. And then 411% is still pretty high, which means that people maybe aren't valuing it at 2250. So there's on one side of the ball, you have a lot of cake being given out, and people are very excited about that cake, right? So they've got a 0.5x multiplier. The TVL for the farm itself is likely going to be at least 1.8 million based on the 0.5x multiplier. But on the other side, they're giving out a whole lot of SPS to people that stake cake. And so it would take, if on one side we're thinking at 22.5 cents, the other side it would be insane to see it at 22.5 cents. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe a lot of cake goes that way, but let's look at the syrup pools. What do we have? Can we sort by total staked? There are some that have 58 million staked, 2 million staked, 900,000 staked, 600,000 staked. So let's say this 700,000 staked. It seems to be a pretty high amount. So we're going to change this number. So 293% seems quite high. If we look at the total, the highest APR is 98%. And it's for their own token, for their own, they've got Axis. Axes is a big popular one. And so I just don't know. I don't know. It seems to be some competing things. Those that stake cake because they already own a bunch, maybe jump in to something with a high APR. They get SPS that they don't care about because they don't know anything about the game, and then they just sell it. That's one of the thoughts. There's no risk for them to stake cake and earn these random tokens that they don't know anything about because they'll just sell these tokens. So there is some selling pressure that is likely, unless a lot of Splinterlands users go in to get this this cake, or to get the Splinterlands tokens by staking cake. We'll see. And they want to hold it. We'll see. So there you go. Those are some thoughts, competing things. Part of it makes me go, oh yeah, this is totally going to go up in value, because especially in the first few days, because there's how to get to this number of liquidity when we're at 100,000. Oh, just a big drop in the last 2 minutes. When we're at 1 million, how do we get up to 2 million? How do we get up to 3 million? But by people coming in and buying SPS from the Binance Smart Chain, because where else are they going to buy it from than the PancakeSwap? They can buy it from Gate.io, they can buy it from the PancakeSwap, or they can buy it from Diesel Pool. In all of those cases, to get enough liquidity to get to 1.8 million farmed, staked on PancakeSwap, not just in the pool, would take 2 to 3x on this price, or a lot more SPS entering these pools, this pool or the Diesel Pool or onto Gate.io. So some things to think about. It goes back and forth, and I don't have an answer for you, but I have some information that may be of interest. Do you think that the syrup pool and all that money, all that SPS that the syrup pool will contribute, do you think that is going to have a downward pressure? Or do you think the fact that the farm being almost necessitating somewhere around 2 million, at least 1.8 million in the farm, staked in the farm? So it's just hard to know. So I hope that I gave you at least some information. Obviously, we're in for a long ride. There's going to be staking. There's going to be earning. People will buy. People will rent. I don't know. Just so much going on. So thought I'd share some of that information with you. I hope this was a helpful video. I'm going to go ahead and stop it because I'm hoping that you share some of your thoughts as well now, because I think I'm about out.